Hello, this video is about the MintyPI project, so if you're not familiar with it, click this pop-up in the top right corner to watch the original video by Wermy, and then you should be caught up for this video where I show you how to put a headphone jack on the MintyPI. I'll link everything below, so the link for this headphone jack will be down below, as well as the files. In order to make this possible, I've changed the original STLs, so let me first give you an idea of how it would all fit together. So there's some guide holes on the front for the headphone jack, so it goes into these nubs here that are on the bottom, and it's a nice perfect fit. And then the power switch can go into the back here, and you can put the sound card here, and you can put the micro LiPo here. It should all be hunky-dory. Really, in order to make everything fit, I had to cut out a little piece of the corner here, just to give the corner of the battery room here, but it's still braced with a little bit of plastic there. So to make things even easier, I've also changed the whole guide. So the original has the USB and the power switch on the front with the L and R holes on the back. So my changes have made it so that now there's still the USB on the front, but there's also the cutout for the headphone jack. And you would go about cutting your headphone jack the exact same way that you cut the L and R buttons. You take your Altoids tin, or in this case, this is a copy, better for your teeth because it's sweetened with xylitol instead of sugar. But anyways, you'll do it just the same way. Remember, Wermy told us to mark the top center of these indentations for the L and R buttons with a marker, and then push a pin in there to create a guide for your starting drill bit, and then to step up the sizes until you get to the size you need where you can fit the L and R button on the outside. So you'll do the same thing for the headphone jack. Top dead center, start drilling holes until you get it to the size you need, and it should end up looking something like this, minus this is my previous attempt before I decided I was going to really do this headphone adaptation. And you can put your power switch on the back along with your L and R buttons as well. While you're doing this, you're going to probably need to use the round file of the small file set, and after you've gotten it really close with your closest drill bit but it still doesn't fit, go ahead and start using that round file and shape it just right so that this fits in there. So while I was at it and I was modifying these STLs, I've also gone ahead and modified the back panel for the screen. I just found it a little bit annoying that there were these cutouts on the back that were for the ribbon cable connectors, but they don't line up. And there's also this gap on the right. I've gone ahead and fixed those two things so that now those ribbon cable connectors line up and you still have space so you can use the test points on the back, and there's no longer a gap on the right side. Unfortunately, I'm yet another victim of the dreaded white screen. So while I might never be able to get my MintyPI to fully work, I will go ahead and show you a completed version of what it should be like, assuming your screen, of course, works. So here's how you're going to wire one of these up. You're going to want your ground connection to come in onto this pin down here. Your right channel will come in from the sound card to this pin. This one is going to be the right channel going out to the speaker, and on this side we have this sound card coming in, connecting to the headphones, and then this will be wired to the left side of the speaker. Of course, since we're using a mono speaker, these will get wired together. When you plug in your headphones, like so, that will disconnect these output channels and disconnect the speaker. And when you unplug your headphones, the speaker will be reconnected. So this is what it should look like when you're all done. You're still going to have USB coming out the right here. The headphone jack over here, you can see what you have to do. Here I've got a wire that goes over from the left channel and goes over to the right channel. So that's probably the most difficult part here, is putting the two wires onto one pin. And so I've twisted the wires together just a little bit to help me hold them all together while I was putting them both on there at the same time. You're going to want to put the crystal over here and have it just off to the side of the sound card like that. And since you have two ground wires on the sound card, go ahead and put one to the ground for your headphones and then use the other ground to go to your speaker. So once you've got the 3D printed tray in place with the L and R buttons fitting, before you start hot gluing it, make sure that you check the headphone jack and put that in place as well, so that when you apply hot glue, everything should line up just like that. And at this point, you would go ahead and hot glue everything in place. I won't be hot gluing this in place yet because my screen is not working. Something to take into consideration is to make sure that these wires that are wrap around the back and just above this little stopping bump. You don't want these wires to go on top of the headphone jack. There's not enough space. This will be just touching the bottom of the Raspberry Pi Zero. Also, I recommend a little piece of Kapton tape. Slide it in underneath like this, and then wrap it around so that it holds the headphone jack in from behind. So it should look like that when you're done. When you do this modification, something you'll have to be really careful of is when you hot glue down the sound card, make sure it gets flush all the way down against this plastic brace here. If it's not, you might not have enough space in between your sound card and the Raspberry Pi Zero. So here's how you want it to be. You want the sound card to be perfectly flush against this edge. So before you put your battery in, be sure to look at it from the sides and make sure that that's the case when you hot glue it in. Okay, so here's my completed screenless version of the MintyPI so that I can access the HDMI on the front, so it's not in an Altoids tin. You can see that the headphone jack is a perfect fit right there. All right, let's flip this sucker on. Okay, so let's go into the Mega Drive menu and you should be able to hear the clicking coming out of the speaker here. Here's the headphones. So you should be able to tell that that's working pretty good. Go back to the main menu here. Something that's nice about the Pi Zero W is that you can get your Bluetooth keyboard connected, and it actually comes in quite useful to have one of these if you're gonna get like Z-Doom working on this, because none of these buttons are routed to escape. So if you go into some of these menus and then you need to back out of it, you're kind of stuck. This little speaker sucks. Let's plug in the headphones. Yeah, if anybody of you knows what to do about it glitching like this, where it gets slow, but then it comes back, let me know. Let's try playing on this. Oh yeah, I'm almost playing like a pro now. I wonder if I can play Quake 3 like this. Come get some! Oh gosh, I'm almost falling off. It's not the best frame rate, but it can do it. This has got to be the worst way to play this game. Can I just get one frag, please? Just one? Who wants to die? Come on, come on. I'm playing on the easiest difficulty here. I should be able to get something. Oh yeah, I got him! Oh, and I fell in the lava. Alright, well that's the headphone adaptation. I saw that they just updated the design so that you can put the sound card on the left. So I'll try to get an updated version for the headphone coming out the front of that soon for anybody that wants to do it that way. But anyways, thanks for watching. Good luck with building your own MintyPI like this, or any other way you want to do it. And good luck with getting a working screen. I'm really excited about those screens being built in from Helder so that we don't have to mess with the ribbon cable connector. But anyways, woo! Have a good one, guys. Peace. This is the closest I've ever had to a working screen, and this is what it does. I first have to connect power, and then immediately twist my finger right here. Gently, not very firmly. You can see I almost got a picture. But that's not still quite very usable. Whoa! That's the best I've ever seen it right there. So I think there's definitely a connection that's internally broken in the ribbon cable itself. There you can see emulation station says it's loading. And now I'm on the RetroPie main screen. If I let go, it stops working. Touch it, it's working. Whoop. And then it eventually gives up.